out for week number 10. JJ, Justin Fields, both not going to play week number 10, so you got some dilemmas on your hands, and I'm here to help you solve them to the best of my ability. Again, Justin Jefferson likely out, almost definitely out for week number 10, according to his coach, and Justin Fields doubtful. Both these gentlemen will be sitting. And I think most people didn't believe JJ would play this week, but I think most people thought that there's a strong shot, including myself, that Fields would be able to hit the field. But that has changed, and now we must look deeper into your waiver wire or your benches to figure out what to do. The Fantasy Football Show Breaking News Edition, Justin Fields and JJ not playing Week 10 edition, begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, you're going to have to figure out another quarterback to plug into your lineup if your quarterback is Justin Fields, and you're going to have to find out what else you need to do at wide receiver if you were, for whatever reason, anticipating JJ coming back. JJ was elevated, or his practice window opened up today, the 21-day practice window, and there is a 21-day opportunity for the Vikings to elevate JJ to the active roster, which is fully expected to happen. The question was, would it be this week that he'd play? It sounds like, according to his head coach, and this is the initial tweet where Ian Rappaport talked about his practice window opening, which is great, coming off IR. And then right here, head coach Kevin O'Connell said that it would be a little aggressive to think that JJ could play Sunday versus the Saints, though he can't wait to get back out there. Now, there's a possibility he sits more than this week, but usually a player that's close to coming back and being activated and inside that practice window, usually they sit 1 week. Kyler sat out last week and he's going to play this week. I think the same thing's probably going to happen with JJ. However, he could be on some sort of pitch count or maybe not full go capacity walking into week number 11. So, we have to keep that in mind. But I think it's safe to say JJ's probably on track to play in week number 11. So get him excited and fired up for your lineups for next week, but not this week. And he's got a week 13 bye. So there were some that thought maybe if the Vikings were going to lose, multiple games walking into this practice window time frame, that maybe the Vikings would just sit JJ all the way through the bye week, which is again week number 13. He faces the Saints this week, his team does. The Denver Broncos in week 11, the Chicago Bears in week 12, then the week 13 bye for the Minnesota Vikings. But because Joshua Dobbs looks so promising right now, because the Vikings are winning, there's a very good chance that while head coach Kevin O'Connell says the team won't be aggressive with him this week, they'll be aggressive with him in terms of coming back before the bye week. So there's a chance maybe he misses one more week, but I think the odds are strongly in favor of JJ obviously playing in either next week's game or the week after. But I would anticipate him being back next week. As for Fields, this one's a little bit more, I think, disappointing because, as I said, nobody was expecting JJ to play this week. I think maybe 4 weeks ago people thought maybe he would, but there was talk about reevaluating his hamstring and looking into everything and saying, hey, is JJ going to be good to go to rehab and get back to form 4 weeks into the situation? That was what came out initially with JJ. So we kind of knew that it would be the 4 weeks and another week potentially to get back up to speed. Jamar Chase, there was a strong indication he was going to play. Maybe even last week, he was out there throwing the ball. He was throwing the ball deep. Bagent was the only reason I think they played it safe last week, or said to play it safe last week, to give Bagent another chance to see if he could maybe, I don't know, unseat Fields or give this team at least a glimpse, because if Fields goes back in and doesn't come back out, they won't know what Bagent can do. So I think they really wanted to do that old, we're to give him another week off type of move. And it didn't go well for the Bears. There were some good moments for Bagent. There were some bad moments for Bagent, but he's not the guy. So for whatever reason, I feel like they're either giving him another chance, but I don't know. I don't know that that's the right move here if that's actually the play. If they're being conservative because of the short week with Fields on Thursday night tomorrow, and they're just wanting to play it totally safe, I get it, but I don't know if this is them giving one more chance to Bagent. I don't understand what the move is here because he did seem likely to play week number 10. You know, he seemed very, very likely to play week 10. I don't understand why, unless there was a setback or they just really want to give Bagent one more chance. But Bagent's not it. He's not. He did okay. There was a moment of hope at one point where I think Bears fans were like, maybe this is the guy. But Fields has proven that he can be a top 3 quarterback in fantasy football at any moment, but he can also fall apart. But I think most of his falling apart is due to coaching and play calling, not necessarily Justin Fields' play. Like Lamar Jackson, he is a special kind of player that scrambles around, uses his legs, needs certain play calling, needs a certain offense and scheme, and the Ravens are perfect proof of taking a player like Lamar that runs a lot, taking a player like Fields that runs a lot, taking a player like Lamar and Fields that are not thought of to be top 5 gunslingers in their profession. They're thought to be, at times, they show flashes of being a top 6 to 10 passer, but then can revert back to 12 to 15 type ranking in terms of passing skill and ability. And you can get all mad about that if you think Lamar is so much better than that, but Lamar will fluctuate in people's opinions and rankings all the time. Lamar is so amazing one moment, and Lamar does what he did last week, doesn't do anything, and everybody's back on the bashing Lamar train. I kind of hover in the middle. I think he's a really good fantasy football quarterback, and I think if you factor in how good of a runner he is, he's a top 10 quarterback without hesitation. Top 10 NFL quarterback, definitely top 5 to 10 fantasy football quarterback. But he's never going to be top 5 elite passing material to me from an NFL perspective. And neither will Fields probably, but he's got the ability, I think, to show that if he's supported right. Anytime the Ravens say let's do a pass heavy attack, or let's take away Lamar's ability to run a little bit, Lamar always falls flat. Lamar is busted. Let's not include this year, but the previous 3 seasons he has fallen on his face, whether it's getting injured, which in some cases is not a player's fault, whether it's just busting the first 8 games of a season or getting injured. Like that's what he's done 3 out of the last 3 years prior to this year. And I blame a lot of it on how the Ravens tried to control him and make him play in an offense that he wasn't ready or wasn't, built for. And so Fields feels like he's getting misused and mishandled the same way. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Fields not delivering all year long for us. Although he bounced back and became the guy we had hoped he would become for 2 straight games in a row, was a top 3 fantasy football quarterback. Number 1, I believe, depending on your scoring, in one of those 2 weeks, and 2 or 3, depending on your scoring, the very next week. So Fields has delivered in spurts, 2-game spurt, and then failed the first 3 games of the season. But it's tough to know what to make of this moving forward. I will say that if you have Justin Fields and you have other holes on your team that you need to fill via trade, I would roll the dice on that you have Fields, a potential 6 to 10 quarterback, and you move forward and you go all in on the other moves that can support your team. If you don't have Fields and you have an owner in your league that has Fields and let's say another quarterback like Stroud that they now want to turn to, you might be able to, if you need a quarterback, get Fields from that owner who now wants to roll with Stroud and give up a wide receiver 3 to get Fields. Because guess what? People sometimes don't want to have a dilemma. Sometimes people don't want to be looking at Fields and Stroud every week. They'd rather get rid of the other player so they're not tempted or feel bad about themselves if they ride and die with Stroud through the ups and downs. Because Stroud will have games where he has 1 touchdown and then he'll have 3 touchdowns, and then he did what he did the other night, have 5. And you got to ride and die with a Tank Dell with Stroud, especially with the rookie being up and down. He will have up and down games. It's going to happen. And it's really uncomfortable to own a Fields and watch Fields go for, let's say, 35 or 40 and then go for 15, and then watch Stroud go for 20 and then go for 40, and you don't know what to do and you're trying to chase the points. I'm telling you, if you need a quarterback desperately and the Fields owner has a Stroud or another quarterback, make an attempt for him, but only in the craziest of situations. I'd much rather you go after a guy like Tua Tagovailoa. I'd much rather you go get a Tua over a Fields. Tua is one of the most underrated fantasy football quarterbacks to go get, most capable quarterback that's attainable of becoming a top 5 to 6 QB go forward. So if you have an opportunity to get Tua, that's better than getting Fields. But there are not a lot of potential top 6 to 7, top 5 to 7, top 4 to 7 quarterbacks available for a discounted price tag. The only other quarterback inside the top 5 at all that is cheaper than he should be is Patrick Mahomes. But Mahomes is not going to be cheap. He's not going to be cellar dweller pricing, but he'll be much lower ranked than he should be because he's failed multiple games in a row, multiple games, handful of games on the year. And while he won't be cellar dweller pricing, he'll be down at least a half a round or a full round, a full 12 overall picks if you're drafting today in equivalent draft value and trade value. So I whether it's Tua, Mahomes, depending on how much you want to pay, or Fields, there are 3 quarterback options that you could go get that have potential to maybe win you a league. And Fields has the least amount of win a league potential with probably the most risk. And Tua's got a lot of risk too, but I still think Tua's worth buying if you're in a jam and the Tua owner has Stroud. Maybe go to the Stroud owner, see what other quarterback they have. 5 or 6 times out of 10, that owner will have a Tua, will have a Burrow, will have a Mahomes, will have a quarterback they might be willing to sell and make a run, make a playoff run. Maybe they're on the verge of making the playoffs, and now they say to themselves, let's get rid of a quarterback and let's roll with Stroud. And maybe they'll trade Stroud. There are a lot of people that seem to be worried about Stroud. A lot of people that sat Stroud last week don't want to play him this week because it invalidates their thinking last week. They want an excuse to be right last week when they weren't right because Stroud dropped 5 touchdowns. So some Stroud owners will sell him just to get rid of the stench of not starting him last week because it burns and stinks so bad. But these are the 2 pieces of breaking news that are out there right now. Fields is out week 10, or will be announced to be out, and JJ will also be announced to be out for week 10. Both are not expected to play, and so you need to make alternative plans if for whatever reason you were banking on either one of these guys walking into week number 10. Now we hit the super chats and then a couple phone calls. Nico with the first super chat of the show. You get a standing O. Nico, appreciate you, my guy. Nico says, Smitty to the moon, 5-4. Let's get that playoff push. Appreciate you. Brotherly shove Nico into the playoffs, please. On 3. Go, Nico. This one's from Avon. How was your day today, Smitty? How was my day? Still going, and it's going good, bro. And we've got, how many people are in the building here? We've got, how many people are in the building? What are we looking at here? 246 people and only 41 thumbs up. Those are rookie numbers. Punch that thumb up button if you could and help the channel out. 246. We can do better than that. My day's just beginning. Our 8 p.m. show is coming up. This piece of news needed a breaking news show, so we did it live. I might even do a Dynasty show right after this. In fact, you know what we're going to do? We're going to create a Dynasty show on my cell phone right here while we're live on the main show. Then I'm going to drop the link in here so that everybody watching right now, the 250 of you, can all go subscribe and watch the Dynasty show that I'm going to do live, piggybacking off this show. So don't go anywhere because I'm dropping the link and we're going to go live simultaneously on the Dynasty channel. $10 hauler from Nico. Also out Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ridley, Olave, DJ Moore, Zay, Dell. What 2 for 1 would you recommend if all to grab JJ? The JJ team is 3-6 and can't wait for him to return. I'm 50-50 trading with him. I would probably say, bro, I don't know that you're going to get JJ on the verge of coming back for anything less than an Amon-Ra and DJ Moore, Amon-Ra and Olave. You could try Amon-Ra straight up, but part of me would say I don't even know which side I like better, because you've got, by the time this all, I mean, you're going to have a bye week for JJ still to come. You're going to have potentially a potentially slow-moving comeback game for him, and then one game and then the bye week. He probably won't be full go 100% until after the bye week. And then you got Joshua Dobbs, who I like from a football perspective and just a motivational perspective and just a grit, like just amazing situation and story. But like, is he going to feed Addison, JJ, and keep this offense humming to anywhere close to the tune that Kirk Cousins was? The answer is probably no. So in a way, I almost say if you can't get him giving up, let's say, DJ Moore and Dell, or Olave and Dell, or Olave and DJ Moore, I don't know that there's, with what you've provided me here, enough firepower to get JJ without dismantling your team. Because I don't know that you win trading for JJ using Amon-Ra St. Brown. It doesn't mean that there isn't some upside there, and I can't visualize a world where JJ does outscore Amon-Ra on the year from this point moving forward, even with the bye week, even with the slow week number 11 when he returns. But I don't think I give up Amon-Ra St. Brown. Potentially starting Ridley over Garrett Wilson, which means Wilson will go off. Thank you for taking one for the team. Overcome. It's tough sitting either one of these guys. And Garrett Wilson is always capable. I don't know that the touchdowns are going to be there consistently with Zach Wilson under center. Hopefully Salah figures that out, and Robert Salah figures out how to move on from his pathetic scoring quarterback. But I would say that, I don't know, the Niners are a tough play and they're a tough start and a tough sit because they haven't been playing well on defense. A lot of people think their defense gets revamped right here coming off the bye week. Chase Young on the team. What's going to happen? Are they going to be amped up and ready to prove themselves? Will they mix things up, change things up, and keep this defensive coordinator's job? Or is he going to be fired mid-season because he can't produce or get this defense going? Is it the system? Is it the coaching? Is it the players? What's going on with it? I venture to say Ridley has a strong shot to have a day. So I don't blame you for starting Ridley, but I don't necessarily condone sitting either one. Overcome, appreciate you with your super chat. This is from Glump. Glump says, Smitty, Garrett Wilson, Flowers, Bijan for JJ and Stevenson. I'd probably say Garrett Wilson, Flowers, Bijan. I know you're banking on Bijan in that, and that's risky. It's a risky proposition, but I think banking on Bijan and banking on JJ have similar risk, and you have Garrett Wilson on the other side, and I don't know that I trust Stevenson enough here. My other running backs and wide receivers are Olave, Kamara, Dotson, Ridley, Walker. I let it all ride with Garrett Wilson and Bijan with that grouping. I know it feels like it's risky, but it's riskier to probably move on at that cost, because I don't know that JJ is going to help you right away, even when he returns, and he returns maybe next week. Not even for sure, but probably. Sit one, Gibbs, Monty, Rashad White. Probably going to sit, man. How do you start one of Gibbs or Monty, though? I guess I sit Rashad White, but how do you sit Rashad White off of last week's game? Honestly, I'd trade Rashad White. You got a lot of trade value there. Why don't you use it versus put yourself through that every week? Start one, Gus, Bus, Foreman, Addison, Cooper. Probably Amari Cooper on a weekly basis is the best starter here, just with Watson under center. Gus Bus is interesting. Addison's interesting, but Amari Cooper is the safest play. But I do like Gus Bus, near the same amount. Alex with a $5 hauler, 8-man league. PPR, I just lost Goddard. Who do I pick up? Dalton, McBride, or Ferguson? Also pick one, rest of season, Flowers or Dell. I'll go Dell. And then I'll probably say give me Dalton Schultz out of those guys for the tight end grab. And then we got George with a $20 hauler monster, you absolute straight baller.
Alert. Super chat alert.
George, my man. 10-man, 2 flex, 5 and 4. Got offered Pollard for Gibbs, T-Law, Bijan, Ramondre, Chase, Olave, McBride, Gibbs, Monty, Ridley, Goddard, Addison, Flowers, Ford, Achane. Mahomes owner is interested in a trade. Have a good day. Thank you, George. Appreciate you. I'd probably say, George, it's going to be tough to give him T-Law or give him just Fields. So if it's me, I say, hey, I'll give you both of them. That way you feel covered while you wait for Fields. And you're going to bank on just Mahomes. And that's a risky proposition, and you got to make sure you got a backup and everything for you. But that's probably the best way to convince someone to do that. Otherwise, you give them T-Law, they don't want it unless they've got a great backup. You give them Fields, they can't use them this week. So you have to do something crazy like that. And so if you give them both quarterbacks, I venture to say you could maybe give them Monty for Mahomes, or potentially Olave and Ramondre, or Ramondre and maybe Ridley, Addison, Ridley, Ramondre, and both honestly, I'd probably give up Ridley, Addison, and Ramondre for Mahomes and something small. I really would. I think Mahomes added to this roster, Chase, Mahomes, it gives you that ability to smash. You got Achane coming back. You'll have Achane, Mahomes. Hopefully Bijan gets on his horse. You'll have Chase, Olave, Gibbs. You'll be thinner by giving up the lot, but I don't see how you get Mahomes just giving up 2 players that don't include Chase or don't include Bijan. I don't know that it's possible. So you have to kind of overgive in order to surprise and impress them with an offer. But try and give up as least as you can. That's always the goal. Don't just throw everything at it. But I'm saying my limit is to keep adding to that trade. I'd try and keep Ridley as best you can, though. Got Josh Allen, Ridley, Waddle, Garrett Wilson, JT, ETN, Achane, Gibbs, Mike Evans, Kincaid, Levis, McBride, Rice, Sharps, any moves. Probably say that I would like to keep ETN, JT, and Achane and Gibbs if you can start all 4. If you can't start all 4, you've got to trade one, and I'm keeping ETN and Achane for sure, meaning JT and Gibbs are expendable to a degree, and if I could couple, let's say, JT and Garrett Wilson for a Jamar Chase, JT, Garrett Wilson for a potential, and I'd want to get more, JT and Garrett Wilson for Chase and something. But that's a doable thing. JT and Garrett Wilson for... I mean, really, you could maybe just do JT for Cup straight up. JT for Lamb straight up. Maybe don't do a two for one. Maybe do a 1 for 1. And you can do that with JT. He's a running back. Running backs are so easy to give away. It truly is the easiest thing to do right now because the running back climate's awful. And then let me go back to George. George, your $20 hauler. Let me come up with another idea because you dropped a 20 watt. I want to give you good service, my guy. I would say for you, aside from the Mahomes deal, Tua. Tua's a great quarterback to go get. Addison can be used for this. Ford could be used for this. Fields and Ford. T-Law and Ford. Those are all good moves, I think. Also, I love the idea... You've got Achane already. I love the idea of maybe Debo for this team. Addison and Ford for Debo. That might seem like a lot to somebody, but I think Debo is going to be worth it, to be honest with you. So that's another idea. Another wide receiver that comes to mind would be potentially Devontae Adams for that same package. You get Devontae Adams using that, you're going to be in the money, bro. I like that move a lot. Devontae Adams is a great buy low. Keep one, Roshan, Charbonnet, Sanders. I'd probably keep Charbonnet just because he can be a home run threat. The other two are kind of falling out of favor, my guy. So don't love that. Let's go to the phone lines. Dial into the phone line. This is the Christopher Smith phone line in the Wheel Snipe City. He's also assisting in the sponsorship of this phone line. These are the 2 monster super chatters of the year in a single live stream.
Call into the show.
In a single live stream. These are the top dog super chatters in a single live stream on the year. Wheel Snipe City, a.k.a. Selly 310 and Christopher Smith 4. 830. Dial in briefly into the phone line as your boy goes through some of the dilemmas you may or may not have, and we will hit it and do it live. Appreciate you all. Dial in. Kyler will be able to perform at a high level. I don't know. It's tough to say, man. That's a unknown situation walking into this week, and I'm hopeful that he plays pretty well. Hurts on a buy stream: Purdy, Howell, Carr, Barkley, Kyler. Probably Howell is your safest play. Kyler's high risk, high reward. Oscar, you are live. You've got 30 seconds, Oscar. What can I do for you, Oscar?
Hey, what's up? Hey, Smitty. Just wondering if you would trade Christian Watson and Michael Wilson for Breece Hall.
Christian Watson and Wilson for Breece Hall. Let me ask you a question. If you're drafting today, where's Breece Hall go?
I think definitely a lot higher than either of the two.
Like second round, but probably, I would guess, right? And Watson, I mean, Watson and Wilson, are they even in people's 6th, 7th round right now? Like fair market value, this is like not even close. Like if this is your concoction, it's a cute idea that probably won't go through. If this is being offered to you, take a lap for not accepting it already, but also pat yourself on the back as you take that lap and smoke a cigar on your way around the track. But there's no way an astute person, an astute fantasy football follower of mine would be accepting this, even with the thoughts that Watson could bounce back, whatever. Like this is a horrible offer if you're sending it to him, and I hope he takes it.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to concoction it up. I wanted to see kind of the feel in terms of value. So what would you do, or what would you say is more of a fair market value? Because this is someone who kind of knows their stuff too.
I mean, what do you have?
So I have Garrett Wilson, I have Puka, I have Tank Dell, JSN. They're more of a wide receiver needy team, and I'm in need of a running back, so I'm throwing these out.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, bro, like you could give up Watson. You were trying to give up Watson and Wilson. He's not going to do that. If he's good at all, you're saying he's knowledgeable or something. Like, so even if we throw Watson on here, you're talking about Breece Hall, who's a 2nd round player right now, fair market value wise. Breece Hall, Watson's like some people would say they wouldn't even roster him. So I think calling him, and I'm not saying I necessarily agree with that, I'm just saying what the fair market value is. So I think calling him a 6th or 7th rounder is probably super optimistic. I would say people are going to rank him in the 8+ range, because a lot of people in here would say they wouldn't even own him. There's a lot of people cutting him right now. So I think 8+ is, I can't write around my microphone. I'm making a total travesty of my 8+ round range. So Watson and Garrett Wilson would get probably rejected, because Watson's almost a nothing, bro. And to other people, Watson and Dell would get rejected. Watson and JSN would get rejected. You're trying to give him Wilson, Michael Wilson. I think if you were able to, Watson and Puka would be evenish, but I don't even know if I want you to do that. I would love to see you do it for Garrett Wilson, but that's if you need an RB. And I could also get behind the person that needed the wide receiver and say, well, should I take a chance on Garrett Wilson and Watson over Breece Hall? I would be hesitant to tell him to do it, but I'd say, hey, you need a wide receiver that badly, and you're loaded at RB. It's not take a lap worthy, but it's not something that I would condone. So basically, Garrett Wilson feels 3rd round, 4th round value to me right now. Fair market value. That's without Rodgers back. That's without any sort of fix at quarterback. That's without the touchdowns. He's doing it all off yardage, getting poor passes thrown his way. He's still a low-end wide receiver 1 at times, but really more of a high-end wide receiver 2 or mid-range wide receiver 2 right now. Whereas I think Breece Hall, coming off a bad game, some might say he's plummeted. He's not even a running back 2 anymore. But I think smart people would say he's still very capable of being a top 15 overall player. So it's not really close, bro. You have to give up something. You can't get Breece Hall for free, but certainly try. All right, appreciate.
Let's say if I do both the. Oh, sorry. Real quick, last one before I go. Both the Wilson, so Will Garrett and Michael Wilson.
Who?
Garrett and Michael Wilson. So
I don't think he's going to do that, but try. I mean, try.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Smitty.
All right, later, man.
You.
Appreciate you. All right, let's go over to Rockout, who's a Mars man. He just leapfrogged over all of you because he has a Mars man card. Rockout, what can I do for you, pal? You got 30.
Yeah, like what's like the bottom line value you would try to get for Walker? Like, which value would you say I'm in, and value I'm staying put?
So if I was to trade Walker, and I just want to emphasize I'm not trying to get rid of him. I mean, I'd definitely sell him at the right price. I would trade him. I would give up something plus let's see here. I would give up something plus Walker for ETN. Like, obviously. That something's got to be significant, though. But you can't just trade Walker for ETN straight up. So you got to get creative. If you want to get rid of Walker, you might not be able to trade Walker for a player. You might have to trade Walker and somebody for a player. So ETN.
How about Olave?
If you threw Olave in, I would want somebody more than ETN. Even though I love ETN and ETN's playing like fire, I feel like this is. I feel like this
also got McLaurin and Ayuk.
Yeah, I feel like this is like Eckler material. This is, this is potentially, Chase and something material. If you do McLaurin, who's undervalued right now, but we'll put Scary Terry in here, I think that's more along the lines of you go get an ETN. That's perfect. Or you go get a Walker straight up for Achane. Or you go get a Walker, you go get a Cooper Kupp and you take the gamble on Cooper Kupp for Walker straight up. Those are your moves.
Yeah, and the owner that has ETN also has Eckler as well, and Mixon.
Yeah, so those are the only moves I can see. Here's another one. Walker for, and I'd try and get more. I don't know that you would be able to, but Walker for Adams. If you can afford that sidestep. Adams is, I think, going to ball out going forward. So that's a great way out of Walker if you want a way out of Walker. Not saying that everybody should want a way out, but if you want a way out, that's a way out. All right, rock out. Appreciate you, pal. Rock out to the moon. Theo from Illinois, you got 30.
Would you drop the Mario Douglas or Tajay Spears or Charbonnet for Keaton Mitchell?
Spears or Sharbs?
Or the Mario Douglas.
Yeah, for Mitchell. So I would probably say, and again, I want to preface here that I like Pop Douglas, I like Spears, I like Sharbs. I don't really want to cut any one of these guys, but you're forcing me. I want the win a league potential in both these RBs. If you're starting Pop Douglas, then maybe you reevaluate.
I won't. He's like my fifth or sixth best.
Okay,
receiver.
so or if anybody else is watching that's going to start Pop Douglas, then I can reorder this based on your need in lineup. But if you're saying I'm not going to play him, then why not just hold the two win a league potential running backs? Maybe these guys never rise up and get starter carries.
Douglas for Keaton Mitchell.
Double down Donnie. That's what I was just saying. Yeah. Or this is Theo.
All right, cool.
Double down Theo. All right, Theo. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Later. John, you got 30.
Hey, would you trade Lamar Jackson for Patrick Mahomes in a 4-point passing touchdown league? My team's in a really good spot, and the Mahomes manager is struggling. I don't feel it's a move I have to do, but more just thinking of things to do.
Well, this guy is a top 1 to 3 QB to me, Mahomes, and this guy is a top 4 to 7 QB to me in Lamar. So, gonna go ahead and say affirmative.
Right on. Yeah, thank you.
All right, pal. Appreciate you, John. Trust your gut, though. Matthew, you've got 30.
What's up, Smitty? I got Monty, ETN, and Gibbs as my running backs. Someone offered me Kenneth Walker straight up for Gibbs. Would you do that?
Tough to say because, first of all, bye week out of the way is fantastic. You can use him this week. Gibbs, obviously, coming back, and we're not sure like what to make of the workload. We're hearing Campbell say they're both going to get fed. He's going to get his touches. I think Walker's safer, but the high risk, high reward play, there's risk and upside that's almost equally massive, like massive risk with Gibbs. Massive.
Are you worried at all about his his calf or any injury
with Walker? Yeah. I mean, that's I haven't got to him yet, but I'm just saying there's massive risk with Gibbs, but massive upside. This isn't like Bijan where it feels like 70% risk, 30% upside. Because Bijan has the ability, just for anybody out there who wants to run their mouth about Bijan, and I told you Bijan was going to be blah, blah, blah. Bijan, if he gets injected into the lineup right now, he could still finish as a top 5 running back on the season. Even with this slow start, Bijan could be in the top 5 RBs at the end of the year if he's used properly. So stop with your Bijan nonsense. And it sucks. It is what it is. We're all pissed off at Arthur Smith, but he's got so much appeal. But right now, with the way that he's being used, he does feel 70% risk, 30% upside if you had to divide it all up. But Gibbs is like 50-50 or 60% 40, that the 60% gonna pop and explode and continue to do well. But there is a significant injected amount of risk with Monty and the fact that, what if game script are like, well, we just, Monty was hot. We kept feeding him and we just didn't have a chance to use the kid, and you start hearing a bunch of BS talk like that at the end of a game. There's that potential. But Walker to me is safer, but there is the concern of, okay, is he banged up or are they just resting him? Why is he not getting a bunch of volume? Does he get game scripted out? If he doesn't get the touchdowns, like I said 2-3 weeks ago when I told everyone to hold on to Eckler hold on to Walker if you're trying to sell him like dirt cheap, but trade him for Eckler straight up if the opportunity presents itself. I did a video on it. I know a lot of people were confused and they said, why you always say you love Walker? Why would you trade him? It wasn't about trading him dirt cheap or just getting rid of him at any cost. It was about the one specific move. Eckler was 2 weeks away from playing, 3 weeks away from playing, and there were even 1 week away from playing. There was a 1 to 3 week window of opportunity to buy Eckler cheaper than Walker's current value at that moment in time. And a lot of people didn't do it. And at that point, once Eckler was no longer buy low capable, it was hold Walker. Because Walker was still scoring. There were a lot of touchdowns being given to him. Even when he didn't score a touchdown, he had a 100-yard game. But he's only had the 100-yard game to my recollection. So once the touchdowns aren't available, though, he's got a high risk of not doing well. And so the TDs haven't been there for him. The offense hasn't been moving the football down the field. The red zone opportunities aren't there. Geno looks like trash. And so there's a lot of risk. I would say if you own a lot of Gibbs shares, I would probably say the Walker move is creative and kind of crafty. If you don't own a ton of Gibbs shares, I would probably ride it out. And I wouldn't want to be off that train. But this could flip. Next week, I could be telling you something concretely different. It's just that it's a 50-50 call right now. All right, I think he hung up. Anyway, he probably didn't like that. Appreciate you for calling in. And someone said, "What are we doing with Pollard?" Pollard is a buy, Rummel. I know a lot of people don't necessarily want to acknowledge this, but Tony Pollard, if you need an RB right now, this is probably your best bet to get a running back one at a cost of entry that is like freaking way far beyond running back one value. This is a running back two equivalent value type player that you can get that can still ball like a running back one. His schedule is opening up. They're going to run the ball a ton. They're going to try and get him involved. They view him as their RB1. There's no hesitation on that. There's no let's get somebody else in there. Pollard's production is going to be on the rise. Now's the time to buy. If you wait, you're going to miss out on a potential running back one that costs well below running back one value. And dare I say, not even high-end running back two value. Trade K9 Dobbs for Debo Madison. I like Debo, but that's not the trade for me. I'd rather have the RB. I'm not trading Walker that cheaply. James says trade Ayuk or Olave for Achane. I would trade either one for Achane, but I'd prefer to keep Olave, but I would do either, no doubt about it, no hesitation, easily. I mean, guys, Olave's a top 5 overall player. Like, this is easy stuff. Do I trade away Mike Evans, DK, and Hunt for AJB? DK, Mike Evans, and Hunt, probably. I mean, how do you not go get a player that's dominating almost every wide receiver in fantasy football right now? It's fantastic. Someone in my league offered this. Diggs, Walker for Jonathan Taylor, Kyron, and Deontay. Diggs and Walker, no. I would, yeah, in my league offered this. Diggs and Walker, I'd take Diggs and Walker. So if Diggs and Walker is coming to you, I'd take that. But there's arguments on both sides of that. But give me the Diggs side. $5 hauler, just traded Laporta Moss for Bijan Higgins. I think Bijan Higgins smashed that trade.
Got him.
Even with the risk to Bijan, that side smashed the trade. If Bijan gets unlocked at some point, whether it's Arthur Smith getting fired, Arthur Smith just called Tyler Algier in a press conference one of the best goal line backs in the National Football League. And I just want to scream, because that to me makes me feel like he's learned nothing and he's not like thinking about anything. How do you call Tyler Algier one of the best goal line backs in the National Football League? It makes me want to vomit in my mouth. I just got offered Geno, Josh Dobbs, Herbert, and Zay Jones for Burrow. No, Burrow to the moon. Burrow to the moon. We're not trading that. Don't get burrowed, bro.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it. Get burrowed.
I mean, you own Burrow, and you're about to get burrowed. How does that work? Work for what you want. $5 hauler, 12-team, 8-1. Josh, just traded Josh Allen, Hawkinson, Warren for Mahomes, Kelsey, Flowers. I don't like that. I love it.
Got him.
I love it, bro. Kelsey, Mahomes, do it live. Let everybody doubt. Who cares? Do it live. That's fantastic. This is from Ivan. Ivan says 6-3. Team is Fields, Hurts, Bijan, Hall, Eckler, Gibbs, Keaton, Amon-Ra, Waddle, Olave, Hollywood Flowers, and Kincaid. Waddle scares me a little bit. Trade ideas. I mean, he should scare you. He's always injured, bro. Fields, Herbert. I mean, I try and trade Fields if I can. You know, start Herbert, let it ride. I'd trade Herbert for Tua, honestly. I'd trade Herbert for Mahomes in a heartbeat. So maybe you trade Waddle and Herbert for Mahomes. Maybe you trade Bijan for Achane, who I don't see on your roster. Bijan for Achane. Eckler and Hall are actually really good running backs with Gibbs, so why not Bijan for Devontae Adams? There you go, bro. That might be the best trade idea, actually. That gets you a wide receiver, and yeah. And then maybe Waddle and Herbert for, a quarterback upgrade. Imagine getting Hurts for that on a bye week, too. Someone might be vulnerable. Which side of the trade would you take? Rashad White, Deontay Johnson, Andrews, or DeAndre Swift, Kelsey, London? Give me the Swift Kelsey side by a lot. That's actually, frankly, pretty easy to me. Alex with a $20 hauler, my boy Alex. Appreciate you. Chris, should I add? I'm 5-4 bye weeks are important. Should add? I'm 5-4 bye weeks are important. It doesn't really change the opinion, but I appreciate that extra super chat, and I appreciate you clarifying. A lot of the guys I'm going after aren't, you're not necessarily waiting on me anyway. I mean, Achane, you're waiting 1 week, but Achane's a go get. Adams is a go get. I'm not too worried about, Mahomes. Probably my top go gets right now are Mahomes, Adams, Achane, Pollard, Debo. Those are a bunch of go gets, no matter what your record is. 6-3. This is $20 hauler from Alex. $20 hauler from Alex. Alex is a monster. You menace.
Alert. Super chat alert.
You menace, you super chatting monster. Lamar 6-3. Lamar, Eckler, Hall, Achane, Chase, AJB, Evans. What is this? Pat you on the back, session? Like, goodness gracious, bro. I bought low on Hall and Eckler, attaboy, and got Achane off waivers. Grandma League, smashing it. Don't take that offense to that. Playing in a Grandma League is good medicine. Don't ever think that there's something wrong with that. With Lamar's inconsistency, do I trade Lamar and Gibbs for any one of Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Allen? I would. I would totally consider that. I'd try and get something more. Given your depth, you got plenty of depth. Lamar and Gibbs is nice though. If you didn't get let me rephrase that. I would trade Evans or Nico with Lamar to get Mahomes or someone like that, but I don't know that I'd throw Gibbs in. I think Lamar's going to score enough that I'd roll with Lamar and Gibbs, but I would definitely like to get Mahomes, and Mahomes is really the only one that's attainable, I think. Or you go after Tua and you upgrade somebody, like upgrade Gibbs into a slightly better RB that you're more confident with, or upgrade your wide receiver slightly by downgrading into Tua from Lamar, because I think Tua could be just as good, if not better. Should Adam 5? Oh, this is already did this one. Chris, appreciate you, my boy. And Alex says, who would you target if you're trying to package Kincaid, MPJ, Michael Pittman Jr.? Is that what we're doing, MPJ? Kincaid, MPJ, or Kincaid, Pollard. My running backs, Pollard and Jacobs, and wide receivers, Diggs, Michael Pittman Jr., Ayuk, and DK. Who would you target if you're trying to package Kincaid and Michael Pittman Jr.? Or Kincaid and Pollard? I don't think I trade Pollard. If I'm doing Kincaid and Pollard, I'm probably going after like Eckler or CMC, or you're not going to get CMC, or potentially ETN and something. But if you trade Michael Pittman Jr. and Kincaid, I think you can maybe go after a Cup. You can maybe go after a Devontae Adams. You can maybe go after an ETN that way. And an ETN might be no, probably not ETN. Breece Hall for Kincaid and Michael Pittman Jr. Maybe. Cooper Kupp, very doable. Puka, doable. Adams, doable. Lamb, probably not, because he's been doing so well. Those are all good moves, in my opinion. Those would all be good moves for that. Guys, we're going to now start a live stream on the Dynasty channel on my phone, and I want everybody, once I have the link, to go over and let me get the link ready in here. I'm going to have everybody go over there and subscribe and get on over to the Dynasty channel. We'll eventually knock this channel, we'll end it, and we'll go straight to the Dynasty channel. But let me put it here. Dynasty, let's see, fantasy, youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. Let me get this queued up and ready. And we'll talk, what should we talk? Should we talk Bijan? Let's talk Bijan. Let me get my Arthur Smith costume on. He shaved his mustache, but I still think that the mustache is needed to know that I am Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith costume is getting loaded. Maybe we need to put a red X on this Falcons until they do the right thing. Arthur Smith. I think I got it red tape here somewhere. Let me see. I got red tape somewhere in here, I believe. That's blue. Maybe I got rid of all my red tape. Maybe that. Maybe we put a red X over this Falcons until further notice, until this team decides to fire Arthur Smith. So we're going to do this. We're going to cross this out right here. This is my Arthur Smith costume. And until the Falcons do the right thing, the Falcons are a no-go. All right, so let me set this up on my phone. We're going live on the Dynasty channel on my phone. Let me switch over here. Let me get onto my Dynasty situation here. Hold on a second. Dynasty Fantasy Football. Okay, we're in there. I'm going to hit live. Here we go. Let me take a... Okay, what are we talking? Bijan. Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson. Dynasty value. Okay, ready? Here we go. We're going to take a photo. What is going on, good people? Are we live? We're live on the Dynasty channel. We're live on the Dynasty channel. It's making me do a vertical one. What in the hell's going on here? Okay, we're live on the Dynasty channel. I'm going to put that right there. Let me drop the link right now on the main channel. We're live on the main channel as well. This is my Arthur Smith costume. We'll take that off for right now. But we're live on the Dynasty channel. We're live on the main channel. I want everybody on the main channel to run over to the Dynasty channel. I've just dropped the link. There's 285 of you in the main channel right now. We're going to end this live stream in a little bit, and I need you all to get on over to the Dynasty channel because we're going to be talking about Bijan Robinson, Arthur Smith, and what we think of that situation. So file on in. I don't know why it's vertical. When I started when I took the photo, it somehow, some way made it look like I want to do a vertical live stream. So we're vertical over there, but whatever the hell. Okay, so let me drop that link one more time. YouTube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. There's the link. Get on over to the Dynasty channel. We got what, 10 people in the Dynasty channel, and we got over 273 in the main channel. So file on over. The links just dropped. And we need everybody over there. 14 are now over there of the 273. Okay, so on the main channel, click the link, go over. We're talking Bijan over here. File on in. Tell me what you think. Wow, Smitty, what a delay. Dynasty, what's up? When you come, drop a like. That's right. Okay, file on in over here. File on in over here. We've got 29 people of the 247 over here on the Dynasty channel. Once we get it above 100, we're going to begin the Dynasty live stream sesh, and we're going to end this live stream. Hit the link, drop it right there. I'm going to drop the link right there. Click it, get on over. 29 people are only over there right now out of the 247. We're talking Bijan, we're talking Arthur Smith. Maybe we're going to take some phone calls and get Draven to call in on the Dynasty channel and tell us what's going on. Hit the link. Subscribe on the new channel while you're there. 34 people in there. Let's file in. Smash the like button, says Blackbeard. Thank you for being here. Superfish is in the Dynasty live stream. Blake is in the Dynasty live stream. Melvin Torres, Klondike. You guys aren't subscribed to it yet. Please hit the subscribe button because we're trying to build that bad boy up. I have a goal of doing a video a day on the Dynasty live stream. At some point this month, I'm going to start it. I don't want to promise that it's tomorrow or today when I start doing it, but I will begin doing that. Mark my words. We will be doing a video a day on the Dynasty channel. Give or take like a day we might miss, and I'll make it up and do 2 videos. But we got 42 people in here. We still got 218 in the main show, in the main live stream. 214 people in the main live stream. Please jump on over. I got marker all over my hands. We're going to do phone calls on the Dynasty channel. Do it live. 218 people in there now, so file over 50 people on the Dynasty live stream. Hit the like button, hit the thumb up button. We're almost there, okay? We're almost there. Let's go. Come on over. We're ending this channel right here that I'm pointing at. I'm ending this stream. Okay, the stream's going to end in a few minutes, so you have to get to the Dynasty live stream. Link is now in the live chat. I've been pasting it over and over and over. Okay, video delay on this channel. Well, I mean, it shouldn't be delayed because you shouldn't be watching the other channel right now because there's a YouTube delay going on the main channel. Yes. Share this video with your Dynasty buddies. That's right, Blackbeard. All right, this channel is going to end in about 20 seconds. Or this live stream on this channel is going to end in 25 seconds. So click the link. 5, 4, hit the link. 3, I only have 52 people in here. There are 200 and something watching right now. You aren't clicking the link. We're ending the live stream right now. I'm not joking. Click the link. 53 people in there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you on the Dynasty channel. Hit the link. Do it live. Oh, super chats. Hold on. We got 2 super chats I got to get to real quick on the main channel before I leave it. Hold on, Dynasty people. $10 super chat from George. Appreciate you, George, dropping the 10 watt on screen. George, he says Stroud, Love, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Dell, Dotson, Etienne, Hall, Taysom, Jonnu. I feel like I need to grab a more consistent wide receiver. Maybe you trade one of them quarterbacks, bro. You got Burrow and Stroud. Okay, trade one of them. Stroud's easy to trade right now. Stroud and Dell for Adams. Stroud and Dotson for Adams. Do it live. That's the easiest question I've been asked all day. You got Cooper Kupp, Adams, and a couple other wide receivers that kind of fit the bill. Puka, maybe. Trade Stroud. Do it live. Thank you for the super chat. And this one from Clayton. Clayton says, half PPR, Taysom Hill or Lockett. Give me Taysom Hill. They're using him like absolute Swiss Army knife. Okay. I'm dropping the link one more time, ending the live stream on the main channel right here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you over on the Dynasty channel right now. Hitting end.